know what's going on with this Paul design. I'll start out by saying I did like at least his Tekken 7 design, or at least I understand it, I get it. It's overly America, but like I understand. The design itself isn't too crazy. It's just all the flags and stars all over the design is a bit much to me, but once again, I get it. It still looks like a Paul design, but this Tekken 8 one, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand all the tears in the clothing. I don't understand the little bag he's got on the side of his gear. I don't get what the rope is for or the bandana. And the idea behind the hairstyle makes no sense to me. And it's such an odd hairstyle too. I've never seen an actual human look like this. Then as crazy as it looks from the front, his head's completely shaved in the back. I don't know. And most of the Tekken 8 designs are actually awesome, so I don't get why they went this over the top with Paul's design. Even the Law one is a little over the top to me, but it looks good. Like, it's a cool design. It's almost an even tougher looking Bruce Lee, but the Paul one just blows my mind. So I figured, in the vein of doing all these redesigns lately, I definitely will have to try to see if I could come up with another type of design for Paul and Tekken 8, at least something that's gotta be simpler than this. So let me see what I can at least try to do here. Alright, starting off, I must say there were a couple things about Paul's Tekken 7 and 8 designs that I actually did like, that I wanted to retain. Partially the knee pads and the boots. I didn't feel like there was too much of a problem there. Kinda sorta the gloves as well. I kinda wanted to keep those. And the one aspect of his Tekken 8 design that I do like is in his rage art, it actually rips the complete sleeve off of his arm. So I wanted to put enough clothes or things on his right arm to where it would completely like burn off or tear off if he did his rage art. So that was my thought process there. But the overall design, I just really want to look simple. But also I've stated numerous times too that one of my favorite Tekken games, at least from a design standpoint, is Tekken 4. I know that might be blasphemous, but I really like the designs and overall feel of that game. And given that Warong is designed with a more serious look in mind for Tekken 8, almost how he was in Tekken 4, I decided to look closer to Tekken 4 for Paul's design. So I will admit I'm not entirely against the idea of Paul with his hair down. Just the hairstyle they gave him in Tekken 8 is just crazy. And like I said, I don't even have a description for it. So to just not completely rip off the Tekken 4 design, I decided to give him somewhat of a ponytail. I almost gave him a man bun. I was thinking along the lines of like Thor, just in doing his hairstyle, which, to be honest, Paul almost looks close to Thor to begin with. But that was just the idea there. And I just gave him a simple t-shirt. I didn't want to get too crazy. I wanted something that looked like it should be Paul, or at least it looked like it should be a brute that's just smashing people's heads in with hammer fists. So simple t-shirt. I almost came very close to putting suspenders on him, but I went, there's no logical explanation behind doing that and it wouldn't make sense, so I just didn't even draw it. I didn't go that route at all. Like I said, there was an idea to put a bunch of clothes on the right side of his body. I almost gave him a sleeve, but I feel like that's ripping off of a SNK fighter, but I can't think at the moment of who exactly that is. But there's got to be somebody that has a t-shirt and only one sleeve on a particular arm. I feel like I've seen that in an SNK game. I didn't want to completely steal that, so I just gave him enough clothes on one side, or at least one arm, like I said earlier, to justify burning off during his rage art. So I put an elbow pad, and giving Paul's sort of attacks, that sort of makes sense to me. And I wrapped a sort of American flag bandana around his forearm and over top of the glove. So that just sort of makes sense, at least in my mind, for Paul to have that on one side of his body and then the other arm be free. So that the actual shirt didn't look plain, I randomly put like a black stripe over the top part of his t-shirt and a small stripe on the sides. Not too noticeable given the actual shading and then color of the shirt, but it's something to just make it not just a completely plain red shirt. Then the pants. I wanted them to look like jeans, but I also don't want the dingy over the top look that he has in Tekken 8. Like I said, there could be story reasons as to why he looked the way he does in Tekken 8. I just don't know what it possibly could be. And like I said, stuff like the rope and the I don't even know if that's like a satchel or a bag that he has underneath his jacket, which also doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't get it. So I wasn't trying to go as over the top with the torn pants and all that other stuff, but I did at least keep the knee pads sort of in a similar style, though they're a lot more clean, almost like his Tekken 7 one. And then I retained the boots from his Tekken 8 design because I actually kind of like those, so I didn't feel like I needed to change those too much. I made slight alterations to it. I think that one might be closer to this Tekken 7 ones as well, but the style with the straps on the back, I kept those. Like I said, there's aspects of the Tekken 8 design that's not entirely bad, but overall it's too much. There is a such thing as over designing a character, but once again, as we've seen with like Mortal Kombat, it could be this way for a story purpose. Though in this case, I can't imagine what that will possibly be. In terms of designing this look though, I left the t-shirt red or almost burgundy simply because he's had a red shirt in the last 2 Tekken games. So I figured I'd roll with that, at least keep some aspect of what they were going for in Tekken 8 in the design I was trying to do. I was going to give him a black or a white tee, closer to like Tekken 4, but just thought against it. And then it was a matter of just adding in extra details in the like post work of the design. So I don't know why I gave him the little beaded necklace, that just add an accessory somewhere so the entire thing didn't look overly plain. But like I said, I was still going for a somewhat simpler design, so I didn't want to add but too much to it. Though the America patch that I eventually added at the end of the design on the jeans, I don't know, with all the flag stuff that they added on the Tekken 7 design, I felt like, I don't know, I retained a bit of that if I was going to do a redesign of his Tekken 8 one. Just didn't want to be overkill with it. Like I said, Paul has the flag on 2 different sides of his collar. He has it on the pad on the shoulder. He's got the stripes on the arm. His belt is somehow the American flag, which I don't think I've ever seen that in life before. Like, it's everywhere. So I didn't want to go that crazy, but I did want to add the flag somewhere in the design. And he pretty much has red and blue everywhere else, so it kind of fits. Just not enough white, so I don't know if I would have benefited giving him a white t-shirt or not. So who knows? But that's pretty much it. Let me know if you could actually see this design in an actual game, or if you could see Paul sort of fighting dressed like this or looking like this, as opposed to the Tekken 8 design that he currently has, which, like I said, it looks absurd. It almost also makes Paul look goofier than his character is actually portrayed now. Like I said, my purpose was to give Paul something more badass like he originally looked in Tekkens 1 through 4. Or I guess you could say 5 and 6 as well. It's really after 6 that his Tekken 7 and 8 designs have started to get crazy. But Paul has been a little goofy in the last few couple of Tekken games. So I wanted something that just seemed more like old school Paul. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.